Hello, everyone, and welcome once again back to Cap Social Network. So, in today's video, I wanted to talk about and provide more evidence on my theory of why lots of black women, not the majority of them, however, but quite a bit of them, like I stated in an earlier video, usually suffer from either the bipolarism, PTSD, if not that, usually schizophrenia or some other form of mental illness. And to prove my theory that much more, this particular story and video is on behalf of a group of women, 5 black females who happened to visit a restaurant, I'm assuming a local chicken joint, if they may reside in that city of Longwood, Florida. Longwood, Florida, it's a suburb, by the way, of Orlando. Anyway, and believe this when I tell you, because I will make sure I read the article for more proof and more evidence, more elaboration as well on this particular story of how some of those women out of all 5 were caught and accused of clogging up toilets in some of the women's bathrooms, not once, but twice. As a result, an employee of the restaurant having to unclog both toilets and clean the toilets, I'm assuming, on top of that. And eventually a fight to ensue after confronting the females about it. Once again, this right here proves my point, and it's a perfect example of how lots of black women, once again, not all black women, but quite a bit of them suffer from some form of mental illness, whether it may be either borderline personality disorder, PTSD, schizophrenia, or bipolarism. Sad to say, some suffer from all of the above. The same women we go out of our ways to vent about on social media after we may get rejected by one, either rejected or ghosted by one on a date, not realizing how they suffer serious mental issues, quite a bit of them. The same women we like to go out our ways to become intimate with, have sex with, and eventually have kids with, not realizing how severely disturbed she may be mentally. And to make matters even worse, that's usually a result of why a lot of our kids come out the way they are with mental issues, black kids, because it's a well-known fact due to both data and statistics that there are more black American kids enrolled in special ed than any other races of kids. Anyway, and without further ado, I'm going to read this story to you. Unfortunately, I won't be able to show any videos going into detail about it, any videos that illustrate the fight, or not even from any news clips from any news channel. Anyway, and once again, I'm going to read this article, the full story and article to you. So here it goes. Okay, folks, let me close this out real quick. It starts out by saying a fight happened between a group of 5 women and employees at Applebee's in Longwood, Florida, around 9 p.m. Saturday. A supervisor told one woman stuffed the toilet with wads of toilet paper, and an employee ended up cleaning the bathroom, but one woman did it again. Tanisha Charles, 18, Taisha Charles, 19, Kai Under Charles, 24. I'm assuming they're either cousins or sisters because of the last names of each female. Jasmine Child, 26, and Kalai Smith, 20, were charged with battery and criminal mischief. A massive brawl broke out in a Florida chicken restaurant after an employee accused customers of intentionally clogging the toilet with tissue. The fight happened between a group of 5 women and employees at Applebee's in Longwood, Florida, around 9 p.m. Saturday. A supervisor told police one woman stuffed the toilet with wads of paper, and the employee ended up cleaning the bathroom, but one of the women went inside and vandalized it again. The supervisor told the women they had to leave as it was almost closing time. They became angry before allegedly starting a fight with the workers, according to Fox 35 Orlando. And this also goes to show you folks of how aggressive, combative, and violent lots of Black American women could be. Anyway, Kanisha Charles, 18, Taisha Charles, 19, Kai Undercharge, Charles, 24, Jasmine Child, 26, and Kalaya Smith, 20, were later arrested and charged with disorderly conduct, battery, and criminal mischief. And here's a screenshot, folks, of the outside of the restaurant, which appears to be a pretty decent looking restaurant. And this will be, once again, the mug shots and another screenshot of each female, who all appear to be hood rats. I mean, I hate to be judgmental or stereotypical, come off as stereotypical, but I'm just calling a spade a spade. This is the inside of the restaurant. Very nice inside, very spacious as well. Okay, and it concludes the group of women was blamed for vandalizing the toilet because they were the only customers inside the restaurant. An arrest report stated the supervisor told the women they needed to leave the store before finding out the toilet was clogged again. It led to the group, who had already paid for their items, becoming quote-unquote irate, and they started yelling. See, another prime example of how there are so many Black women that are so quick-tempered, so hostile, so combative, aggressive, especially when they can't have their way. To me, in my personal honest opinion, the way some Black women carry on not only makes you sometimes ashamed to be Black, or guys like me, Black, but they carry on no different than kids when they can't have their ways. If you ever go to the stores, people, and see toddlers, if you go to any kind of store, it may be either a retail, department, or grocery store, and you see a toddler that's not able to have what they want, and maybe in a shopping cart, sitting in a shopping cart with their mama, how as soon as some may not have what they want, they start to pout and throw these outbursts where they start crying out loud until they could be able to have what they want and what they may point to on the shelf or shelves. That's where, or how a lot of Black American women, once again, in my personal honest opinion, some of you may think differently, come off as grown adults or grown women trapped in toddlers' bodies, if that makes sense. Anyway, it said, where was I again? Oh, the other woman joined in and started to kick, punch, and pull the worker's hair while throwing things at her, according to the authorities. The supervisor sustained a cut behind her ear as well as bruises on her arm and leg. Another employee jumped in and helped that colleague, and one of the women is said to have clapped, got on top of her and began to throw chairs. Other store workers eventually broke up the fight, and the group of women led. They allegedly knocked over chairs and threw salt and pepper shakers as they left. And that's a nice screenshot of the restaurant. I'm assuming it may have a bar inside where you could drink alcoholic beverages as well. Some more pictures of the inside of it. It seems to also be an establishment that a lot of white people seem to frequent. And just judging by the side of town it is located on, which is in Longwood, technically a suburb of Orlando, that probably explains it all, how it's probably a mostly white populated area. Anyway, the estimated value of the damage is around $20. Although in my personal and honest opinion, $20 is not much at all for repairs. Anyway, it's just due to the simple fact that if they would have just did like they were supposed to, if they wouldn't have clogged up those toilets in the women's restrooms to begin with, along with creating a scene by initiating fights with the employees, that $20 could have been some money they could have had, some extra money they could have had set aside for whatever, the employees of the restaurant. All due to the degeneracy of the black females that started the whole altercation. Anyway, Kanisha, Taisha, and Kayanda, however you pronounce the third one's name, were detained along when Klein and Smith by responding police officers. They were treated by paramedics for injuries. Surveillance from the restaurant matched the employees' statements given to police according to a arrest report, but the woman said an employee pushed one of them in the chest and that another worker attempted to lock them inside the restaurant. And speaking of which, why not, when it was more of that time, more close to that time for the restaurant to close, all they had to do was just be on their ways, all 5 women out the restaurant, instead of trying to once again start a scene in an altercation. I'm telling you, some black women, fellas, for all you fellas to follow my channel, have serious mental issues and are widows. And this is a perfect example and case in point of how they were claimed they were the victims of the incident and they were the ones who were attacked. The 5 women were taken to the John E. Polk Correctional Facility by officers and deputies from both the Longwood Police Department and Seminole County Sheriff's Office. They were all released after they each posted $1,000 and $26 bond. Okay, so this also goes to show you, folks, of how, once again, so many black women have serious, not only have serious mental issues, because they, like I said earlier, and I will not stop stressing this enough, they either suffer from either PTSD, bipolarism, borderline personality disorder, or schizophrenia. Like I said at the very beginning of the video, in some cases, all of the above. I'm not going to keep on dragging this video, but before I happen to close out the video, make sure you first and foremost like the video, you share it, so this video could become more viral. And although this video may be almost 2 months old, because it happened around August, I believe August the 23rd, if I'm saying it right, still feel free to share the video, both the video and my channel at Cat Social Network. Last not least, subscribe to the channel. So until next time, guys, I hope you have a very safe and blessed day. Goodbye.